bar crawl across their screen. And thanks to their dated workstations, our poor editors have been watching a lot of slow progress bars. The only reasonable thing to do then is build them new ones. But the PC landscape has changed a lot since 2021, when we made our last big improvements to our editing stations. So we are teaming up with ASUS, who sponsored this stream and sent over some awesome parts to try, like the AMD Ryzen 7 9800X 3D, which we are not going to use. Did you roll the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, when do I come back?
You're back.
Oh! In fact, our CPU upgrade might be a little controversial. We're going with the AMD Ryzen 9 9950X. That's right. Desktop CPUs, like peasant consumer CPUs. But here's the thing. Even without the 3D V-cache, which doesn't consistently boost productivity performance, the gamers watching this are probably agreeing with our choice, going, heck yeah! AMD dominance! Woo, 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 woo! But the content creators that are watching might know that video editing performance is actually one of Intel's last strongholds, thanks in part to QuickSync. Now, QuickSync, let's stand over here. QuickSync is Intel's branding for the dedicated hardware that accelerates video encoding and decoding on their CPUs and their GPUs. And it really does work, allowing Intel to outperform AMD in Adobe Premiere Timeline performance. And actually encoding as well in many cases. That is why we went with their Core i9 13900K in our last behind-the-scenes editing rig upgrade. But here's the issue. We've heard a lot of complaints from our editors about system stability. A lot. And when it comes to getting work done, it doesn't matter how smooth you can scrub your timeline if the system crashes on the daily. So now that the Core Ultra launch has come and gone with a resounding womp womp, we thought maybe it's time for a walk on the red side. Besides, the 9950X seems to have solid performance with intra-frame codecs, which we use, and it's got a potential upgrade path thanks to AMD's long-term commitment to the AM5 platform. Though, it is worth noting that we made a significant investment in editing stations based on AMD promises of long-term socket support back in the Threadripper 3000 days, and we all know how that worked out, don't we? Oh, we don't? Some of us don't? Bad. It worked out bad. It sucked. AMD just abandoned the platform immediately and was like, sorry, not sorry. Oh. Anywho, the 9950X has 16 Zen 5 cores, 24 threads. 32. Oh, yeah, 32 threads. Sorry about that. A base clock of 4.3 gigahertz, and it turbos to up to 5.7 gigahertz. Other than the X3D, which, again, our productivity benchmarks don't seem to really benefit from that much, it is the top of the flipping line. Now, we could have gone with a workstation CPU still. AMD does still have them, even though they abandoned that particular platform on me. Way to go, AMD. But here's the issue. AMD has kind of gutted their Threadripper offerings, dramatically increasing pricing for their top core count models and lagging behind their desktop chips in terms of core technology pretty much across the board. Like, you still can't get a Zen 5 Threadripper. What the freaking heck? So if you care about single-threaded performance, which some things, even in a productivity environment, do, then a desktop chip becomes the reasonable option. Not to mention that the motherboards for the current gen Threadripper Pros cost about as much as a desktop CPU and a desktop motherboard combined. Though that won't be the case for the desktop board that ASUS wanted to show off today. The ROG Crosshair X870E Hero, a $700 monster with absolutely everything. I'm talking 5 gig and 2.5 gig Ethernet, Wi-Fi 7, 5 M.2. Where the devil even are they all? Okay, 1, 2, and then I assume there's 3 more under this plate right here. Oh, look at that, look at it go. It's got their AI advisor. Everyone's hot on AI features, but this one may actually be helpful for beginner builders and can highlight ASUS-specific features for seasoned veterans. We're going to have a look at it when we finish building. And it's also got support for 4 DIMM slots with up to 256 gigs of RAM at surprisingly high speeds, or up to 8200 megatransfers per second on Ryzen 9000 series with not 4 DIMMs. Their NitroPath DRAM technology means that there are shorter Goldfinger pins, which results in optimized single pathways that ensure faster data transfers between your DRAM and CPU, as well as stronger slot retention force. And if I said the CPU choice for this build was going to be controversial, it is nothing compared to what we've got for our RAM. ASUS, because of their whole NitroPath optimization tomfoolery that they've got going on here, worked with Kingston on support for these specific modules. These are $161 each for a total of 256 gigs of RAM in this thing. Now, normally on Ryzen platforms, if you want to run all 4 slots, especially at high capacities, you are looking at pretty slow speeds. But they claim that with all 4 of these running, you can hit up to, what was it, 5,200?
56.
5,600. We will have to see if that works, because the really mind-blowing thing for me, here, if you want to get the installation, is that these are CU DIMMs. Whoops. Yes, my friends, CU DIMMs. Those special high-capacity DIMMs that AMD doesn't really support other than in bypass mode, which just completely ignores the benefit of a CU DIMM, because there's like a CKD thing on it, and AMD just supports it in the sense that they just bypass it and don't use it. So the idea behind these is that they run at super high speeds on Intel, but then ASUS and Kingston were like, oh yeah, we're gonna use these DIMMs on something AMD something high speeds, very high capacity. Sure. Let's see how it goes. Cool. I'm going to put that there, and we're all going to hope for the best. All right, now, it is worth noting that not everything in our configurations is changing. Our storage, where is our storage?
I was just starting to wonder that.
Uh-oh.
Is it in the motherboard?
Did we lose the storage? Yeah, it could be. Anything's possible.
Do we have tools?
Yes, I do have tools. They are back there.
Where'd you get them?
Let me tell you. LTTstore.com. Let's go. Precision screwdriver set. These are moving like hotcakes. Y'all are loving these for the longer, skinny parts of the shaft, so they get into recessed places a little bit more easily on things like laptops and game consoles. The stronger magnetism compared to some competitors in the market. The nice, smooth, spinning top. I saw a really funny post on the subreddit where someone was holding it up to their cat, who was like super suspicious of it, and then eventually is like, and like goes after it. And it's really funny. I can see a cat not really liking that noise.
Apparently the SSD was just left in here.
It was just left in here. Okay, perfect. Well, here we go. Let's, this gets, dang it, this is an issue. Oh, I see. Well, why did I take off the one that, anyway, okay. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 of our M.2 slots on this thing. This was totally intentional so that I could show you guys where all the SSD slots are on this motherboard. This fine sample of a motherboard. Anyway, parts that stayed the same. We've kept our 1 terabyte Crucial P5 Pluses. Wait, what? Only 1 terabyte, Linus? Yes, and there's a very good reason for that. We used to have some editors that would, sneakily even upgrade their stations with larger SSDs, and what the temptation was at that time was for them to dump footage onto their local drives, and then, oh man, I'm just making a quick fix, so like, I'll just throw it in the timeline, I'll export the video, and then it doesn't matter. But what happens when you do that is you don't have all your stuff in one place, and when you're sick the next day and someone needs to go make another fix to that video, they go, what's this media offline? Oh, they didn't copy it to the server. So we actually go out of our way to have small storage drives in our editing systems so that nobody is tempted to copy raw footage onto their local drive and work on it. We all work off of our redundant and backed up server. So there you go. Not only do we save a buck, but this Gen 4 drive is reasonably performant and has a DRAM cache. And all it needs is to store the OS and the software that we use. We also kept our case. Hold on, let me just throw this back on. I'm liking this toolless mechanism for this. Not bad. So it's got a little clip there. You pop that off, and then you got a little slide there. I mean, it feels very expensive, but I guess that's because it is. So we're still using the Fantex Eclipse G500A. It's not the world's most exciting case, certainly, but it's really easy to work in and has decent build quality. We don't need our workstation to be exciting anyway. It's a workstation, not an excitement station. Oh, what are we doing for cooling? You know what? I think I want to put my cooler on before we put this in here. So why don't we talk about that next? We are still using the Noctua NH-D15. Again, it's not the world's most exciting choice, but it's hard to argue with a great air cooler that offers good thermal performance with low noise, and this is a really key one for me, super easy installation, because right now, as I build this machine, is not necessarily the only time anyone will have to work on this system. Things go wrong, especially the motherboards in those Threadripper systems. Those went wrong a lot. And so when it's someone's job to go in and fix up these systems, it's nice when they're working with a retention mechanism that is easy to use, and not only that, but quick to apply. This will take me a minute to, I'm gonna put my screwdriver. This will take me a minute to install though. So Dan, do you want to hit me with a merch message? You don't have any merch messages? Ugh, is the dashboard working, or is it just because I didn't tell people that there are merch messages?
Oh, probably because you didn't tell people. I mean, I did get one. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the bag, Linus. I will use it until it falls apart or blows up.
Huh. Well, hopefully neither of those things will happen, but if one of them does, I hope your bag falls apart. Can't wait for that to be clipped out of context. Anyway, if you guys want to interact with the stream, the best way to do it is with a merch message. All you got to do is head over to lttstore.com and add some high quality merchandise to your cart. And when, oh, does this one come with the offset mount? No, this is an older one. Okay, we'll just use the standard mount. And when you're in the cart, you will see a little prompt, a little box to send us a merch message. That'll go to producer Dan, who will either just push it up to the bottom of the stream. So, you can do like, hey mom, or happy anniversary, or will you marry me, or, whatever it is that you want to put down there for the LTT fan in your life. Or he will respond to it himself, or he will curate it, and I can respond to it later on in the stream. All right, let's get this installed. Oh, I could also bring up the chat. Oh, where the heck did I put my computer? I do not remember. David, do you have my laptop?
Yeah, I put it on the table. 1 second.
Sick. Yeah, Ken has. Thank ya.
You want it right here?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, here's good. Let me just make sure that it doesn't have the panel with all of our stream keys open. It totally did. That would have been extremely not funny. I mean, it would have been a little funny, but
hopefully it's not like a social security number. You can change them.
Only later. Well, no, you can change them, but it would have been very challenging to change them quick enough for it to not be a problem.
Oh, fair. Well, I mean, we're literally streaming right now.
Oh my god. Google signed me out. I had the dashboard open earlier in the stream, and it signed me out of my account. It's so infuriating. I swear it signs me out way more than every 30 days. Like, there's no way. Okay. I am going to successfully type my password on the fifth try. There we go. We got this. All right. Motherboard prices need to chill, says the Tech Tempest over in Floatplane chat. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like, on the one hand, there are components that have gone way up in price that I kind of understand. Like, yes, NVIDIA owns absolutely some of the blame for GPU prices being completely out of control, but they don't own all of it. TSMC doesn't publish their price lists publicly or anything like that, but the industry scuttlebutt is that a wafer is costing several times what it used to. So there have been legitimate cost increases that have driven at least some of the price ballooning that has gone on for GPUs. Clearly not all of it, but at least some of it. Whereas like motherboards, I don't know, man. Like copper's obviously up over where it was 10 or 20 years ago. I think that in general, they're built to a higher standard of quality than they used to be. Like I bet you could build a pretty cheap motherboard with, you know, electrolytic caps all over it and stuff these days still, but nobody wants to do that because nobody wants them all to just explode a couple years later while they're still under warranty. But I don't, like it just, I don't know, man. It just feels like, and okay, yeah, no, here's another example. It's like part of the cost of this board is definitely, you know, these gigantic heat sinks that are machined out of solid friggin' piece of aluminum. Have you priced like a brick of aluminum lately? I have. I don't remember the price, but I remember being surprised at the price. It's freaking expensive. Oh, I forgot what I was doing. I was supposed to be putting this cooler on. All right, let's put on some thermal goop. Just so you know, guys, if you buy a cooler these days from Noctua, it comes with a different version of the hold down hardware here. And basically, it has two holes in it. And if you have a CPU that has the compute dies down at the bottom, which I believe is all of Ryzen 7000 and Ryzen 9000, then you can move the cooler down a little bit, that is clearance permitting on your motherboard, and you can position more of your cooler's heat pipes directly over the hottest part of the IHS, which is the heat spreader that sits over top of those compute dies. Ow! Ooh! Shoot. I need a Band-Aid, and I have to fill out the form. I cut myself. Yeah.
Who's the security?
Dang it. Wow, that's really sharp. Okay, if ASUS is watching, which I assume they are because they did kind of sponsor the video, this little piece right here wouldn't normally be a problem, but because of the sheer weight of the VRM cooler, the pressure when my finger got stuck under it sliced through me. Oh man. You know what? She might not bleed. I might not have to fill out the form. Anyway, why don't we finally put thermal compound on this? Dan, do you have any messages for me?
Yes, I have a couple here actually.
All right,
They're
cool.
starting to come in pretty intensely now.
Why don't you go ahead and hit me?
Any chance of reviving the summer jacket, even if it's not ocean friendly? I would love something light for dog walks in the sun.
The summer jacket. Oh, you mean the UV hoodie? Is that what they're talking about?
Maybe, I don't know.
They said revived though, because the UV hoodie never actually got released. It was a product that we made a couple of samples of, and then we found out that we couldn't achieve the level of UV resistance that we wanted without resorting to nasty coatings. And there was actually manufacturing issues with the fabric that we had that didn't require the coatings. Like, dude, we did a production run with the factory, and they were the ones who told us, I really don't think you guys can sell this. That never happens, because apparently like the sizing for a medium could be anywhere from small to XL, just because of how difficult that fabric was to work with. So we are still working on a UV blocking hoodie, because I love mine, and Tatiana is giving it her attention. I believe Bridget on the so she's on the material side, and then I believe Bridget from the fashion team is giving it some of her attention, although it might actually be Lisa. We want to do it, but it won't be until summer 2026, and that assumes that we manage to find a material that is suitable. No, I shouldn't say that. I am a little more open to coatings than I used to be. There is one garment that I have tentatively greenlit, like a coating in order to achieve, I forget if it was stain resistance or water repellency or UV resistance. I forget what it was, but it's some kind of treatment. And I have tentatively greenlit that one. But the reason that I greenlit it is because it was the kind of garment that would only be washed, 10 times over a span of several years. Like, I think it might have been like a jacket or something like that, where you're not washing it every week as part of your cycle, because like, I read your guys' comments, I use the products, I know that you guys are beating the absolute stuffing out of this stuff. You're like, I see the posts on Reddit and stuff where people show off their collection of LTT gear, and I can tell a lot of it is extremely well worn. And I know you guys, because I'm one of you guys, I know you ain't separating your delicates from your cotton stuff in the wash, and I know you're just washing everything on warm or whatever, right? So it does limit us a little bit in terms of what kinds of materials that we can use, because we know that you guys are going to mistreat it. And that product design philosophy has worked out really well for us because we know our customer. Like when you guys saw the Project Farm video where Todd benchmarked our t-shirts against other t-shirts, and he found that they didn't shrink nearly as much. That's not because we have magic cotton that doesn't shrink. It's because we pre-shrink everything to an obsessive level as much as we are able, because we know that you guys are gonna not take care of things properly. And that's exactly what Todd did. In his benchmark test, he washed the clothes like a guy. Which, makes sense. He's a guy or whatever, but that is not how you properly wash clothes. And so we performed really well on that test because we knew that was going to happen. That doesn't mean that those other garments were bad. It just means that they were designed for people who take care of their clothes properly. But anyway, I got to send a very gloaty message to the fashion team, because they're always going after me about like, oh, we could use this material. We just have to put really good care instructions on the tag, and people will totally not contact support about it falling apart. I'm like, no. No. All right, let's go ahead and get this motherboard installed. Dan, do you want to hit me with another merch message?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. We got a couple more. When I stream music using PlexAmp on my phone over data, my carrier Mint mislabels it as hotspot data. Have you heard of this or know a fix? Support is being useless.
Oh, wow, hotspot data. I can't say that with any of the carriers that I've used here in Canada, I've had a problem with them mischaracterizing any of the data that I've used on my phone. And honestly speaking, I'm not fully sure what that means, because which carrier was it? Mint.
Sorry.
That's Ryan Reynolds.
That's right, because don't some of the more budget-oriented carriers have separate data limits for different uses?
I do not know.
I believe so. I know for sure that T-Mobile does, because they have partnerships and stuff where there's certain things that you can do that do not count against your data cap. I don't know. It's been a whole conversation in the US around whether the carriers should have the right to prioritize certain data or treat certain data differently. And all I can tell you is if you don't like that behavior, you might just have to kind of talk to your local representation. Do we have the hardware for this case anywhere, by any chance?
I was counting on it being in those shelves.
Ah, okay. Well, I will find some hardware.
If it's not, then I will.
No, we got this. Uh-oh. I don't see the 632 bin. Uh-oh.
Where do people take this stuff?
I don't know why people take these things.
Okay, well, I will.
Countersunk hard drive screws. Yeah, I really don't see either the M3 bin. Oh, I've got the M3 bin.
Got the M3 cap. Will you make it work?
I think that's what I need for the motherboard anyway. And then if you could find the 632 bin, that would be wonderful.
Lost your mic.
You lost my mic? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably leaned against the thing.
We got Band-Aids for you.
Sorry about that.
Do you want me to camera it? Or?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, come on.
Yes. It's very small. May I please have the smallest Band-Aid?
Smaller, please.
That's our smallest Band-Aid.
Oh no, I think it's
Tiny.
Okay, to be clear, if I was at home on my own time, I would not even put a Band-Aid on this. It's no big deal, and I especially wouldn't need a team of people to apply it for me.
I think if you weren't on stream, you wouldn't have done it. But I feel like you
No, I always fill out the
Really?
form.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I know. If all
Show
the
me the alley.
disinfecting wipe. So the reason is that in the workplace, even something like this could theoretically lead to an infection. It could be bloodborne. You can, however remote the possibility, you can die from a little owie, or lose a hand or an arm or whatever. And so with that in mind, from a workplace safety standpoint, we have policies that ensure that if anyone does get a little boo-boo at work, we have processes to document that and treat it so that in the event that something really, really terrible happens, they will at least get compensation for it. So, as a leader here at the company, I feel that I should lead by example, and even though I kind of gripe about it and meme about it a little bit, make sure that if I am injured, however small, I fill out the proper forms and do the proper documentation, because I don't want someone to be hurt or injured and then not be able to get coverage, because what WorkSafe is trying to protect against is people who get a little owie at home and say, oh no, I got that at work. So we have to have the documentation for when it happened and what was done to treat it, to ensure that we can prove that it did in fact happen at work, to make sure they get their coverage. That is why we do it, not because I need someone to put a Band-Aid on for me. Okay, I'm going to tilt this up so I can finish installing this here. Did we find any 632 screws, or did we
did
give
not.
up? Okay, well, hopefully we won't need any. We may not need any. Oh, I might need a thumb screw at the very least.
There's thumb screws.
All right, Dan, do you want to hit me with a merge message?
Yeah, sure. Here's another one for you. Why don't you guys edit on Apple machines? Either a beefed out MacBook Pro or Mac Studios. Adobe applications are way more stable on Mac, and they're more compact and power efficient. Also, why no Noctua Black?
Why no what black?
Noctua.
Noctua black? Oh, I don't know.
We like the brown one.
Yeah, I don't know. Brown's fine. It doesn't really matter. They're editing workstations. They're not gaming rigs. As for your first question, why we don't edit on Mac, under certain circumstances, we actually do. So whenever we do like a trade show or an industry event or whatever else where we need to do on-site editing, we do tend to travel with Macs. As for why we don't, how much tether you got there, Andy?
I got plenty.
You got a lot of tether? Oh, look at that. You got plenty of tether. Okay, come on with me then. I truthfully...
New people, so.
Oh, we have new people?
I didn't see
Let me
anybody.
see.
yet.
Oh, nobody is here. Are they out for a... Hey, Alfred, can I borrow you for a minute? Oh, yeah, no, sounds good. Oh, okay, Alfred, we had a question from a viewer. I don't know if you guys have met Alfred yet, but he's our production manager guy now. So they wanted to know why we're using custom PCs instead of just switching over to Mac because of the better stability of Adobe applications on Mac. You'll have to be uncomfortably close to me because I have the mic.
All right. Wow, that's a great question. So we have used a combination of Macs and PC, but for...
I mentioned for travel, we take MacBooks with us, but why not Mac here?
First of all, we're using what we have.
Oh, but we're building new machines.
Yes. So we could.
Oh,
We're open to it. That's
okay.
what I'm saying.
We're apparently open to it.
We are open to it.
All right, okay. Thanks, Alfred. I know that some of our editors do strongly prefer PC. I know that not every application that we use in our workflow is part of the Adobe suite. I do know that our infra team would strongly prefer that we have as few Macs as possible because
Please.
most of their administration is for PCs, and so most of our processes are set up for PC. But other than that, apparently we are open to it. What we're also open to is using An add-in network card. Sonnet Technologies. Wait, we use Sonnet 10 gig network cards? Why?
They're technically still the fancy Intel chip that we like.
Oh, okay. I'm just surprised that we have new ones from Sonnet when we have like an entire shelf of X540 cards sitting over in the warehouse.
This one wasn't given to me by Infra. This one was, I need a 10 gig card, and I went and grabbed it.
Got it,
So
okay.
This might not be actually representative of what was in there.
All right, well anyway, even with boards that have 10 gig onboard LAN, we use these add-in NICs because we've just found them to be more reliable. Is that true, David?
Oh, Dan?
Dan?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we used to have like fiber to every station, and now we do 10 gig boards. One, they're really reliable, but also I think a lot of the boards before didn't have 10 gig built in.
I thought a big part of it too was the Kioxia or whatever it was in the motherboards doesn't play well with our 10 gig.
I can't remember. It's probably
All right.
not important anymore.
Well, we no longer remember why we use these add-in 10 gig network cards, but we do. So there you go. This is the kind of thing that happens in a corporate environment that I think a lot of enthusiasts don't necessarily get exposed to, is sometimes a decision is made for a reason that totally makes sense in the time that it's made, and it costs so little to continue making that decision forever that there's never any incentive to change it, even if nobody who is left at the company remembers why the decision was made or understands why you continue to make it. Oh man, I mean, there's nothing wrong certainly with using an Intel NIC. There just isn't maybe necessarily any reason to do it. We already have so many of them that I guess we might as well just throw them in our systems. All right, time for, oh my goodness. Good gravy, is that ever heavy. All right, let's take a look at this power supply. Sheesh. This is the ROG Thor 1200 watt Platinum 3. It is $515. So, full honesty, this stream is sponsored by ASUS, but this is probably more than I would spend on a power supply for a run-of-the-mill video editing workstation. However, it is jam-packed full of features that ASUS would like me to tell you about, including their GaN MOSFET, which ASUS claims offers 30% more power efficiency, their GPU-first voltage sensing with a patented intelligent voltage stabilizer, their magnetic OLED display. Magnetic OLED display. Are you guys even serious right now? Oh my God. Oh my. Okay, I figured out why.
God.
I figured out why. It's so you can put it on either side.
That's so smart.
So you can have your OLED display and eat it too, depending on whether you want your fan oriented down or oriented up. I'm going to go with fan oriented down because I believe, yes, this case has a filtered bottom intake. Here, I'll get you a closer look at that, Andy. That is hilarious. That
Even
is
the pins
hilarious.
spell ROG.
No, those aren't the pins.
Oh,
those are just
okay.
graphics. But yes, it kind of looks like
So
it.
extra.
So that goes on there, or it comes off according to your preference. That is so funny. All right. Oh, dang it. Now I went and screwed it up. Way to go, Linus. You dropped the ball. That's what I dropped today. Okay. I mean, they can't do it. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, and all the text is right side up, regardless of which way you put it into. Hilarious. Anywho, it's fully modular with compliance with the ATX 3.1 standard and comes with a 10-year warranty. Let's go ahead and get it installed. Dan, do you want to hit me with a merch message?
Sure thing.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Linus, any chance of offering a certificate like Coursera? With LTT being well known in the tech world, wouldn't it be great to offer something like that for a refresher course? LTT University.
It's something that Colton has wanted to develop for a long time, and not necessarily that specifically, but some kind of course. Courses can be extremely lucrative, and when your job title is Business Development Manager, I can understand why trying to pursue something like that would be very appealing. But my issue every time we bring it up is that our whole thing from day zero has been taking advantage of YouTube and its incredible ability to democratize information and knowledge, to democratize knowledge about, PCs and software and troubleshooting and configuration and like all these things. All these things that we do are about the sharing of information. And so how do I reconcile that with a paid course that is sort of blocked off? Like, we do exclusive content, absolutely. Like over on lmg.gg/floatplane, you'll find all kinds of wonderful exclusives. Like you can, have interviews with various members of our team. Sammy has a really cool series running right now. He manages the Floatplane content for us. He's got a really cool series called Why Is WAN Late, where he kind of looks at the behind the scenes of what's going on around here on a Friday afternoon. But none of that is critical. That's fun, but you don't need it to make a good decision. You don't need it to help your friends build the best gaming computer for the money. And so I've always just felt like, yeah, we could do a course on how to build a computer or whatever. We could do a course on, tech knowledge. But how do we differentiate that from our standard content that is our bread and butter and is the reason that you guys engage with us? And how do we make that not just kind of a... How do we justify charging for what we would normally give you for free? So we would have to come up with a way to really differentiate that content, whether it's through, making it like super professional and super awesome, or whether it's going to another layer of depth, or to your point, including like a certificate with it, or something like that. But I don't know, man. I just don't really think people need a certificate to do this kind of work. I think what you really need is some experience, and it can be useful to get a certificate. Just to demonstrate that you have some experience and you have some knowledge. But I don't think that's for us to develop. I think that if we were gonna make a piece of content that was, focused on arming people with a whole whack ton of knowledge, something like how to build a PC, the last guide you'll ever need. I think that's a great example of something that we could have easily charged for, and the kind of thing where there would obviously be enough demand to make a ton of money, for the business development team. Like I think the first one ended up getting like 10 million views or something like that. And the second one I think is already closing in on like 2 or 3. Like it's a really valuable resource. It's just, with that in mind, then why are we paywalling it, right? Like we don't really paywall anything that is valuable beyond just kind of hanging out with us, right?
Original's 12.5.
12.5 on the OG? Wow, okay. It's even more than I thought. And that's a long video. That's a dense video. That is not an entertaining video. That is an educational video that we obviously give our, some of our entertainment flair to, but it's meant to be a resource.
New one is 3.7 mil.
3.7 on the new one. Okay, so yeah, they're both doing better than I thought, actually. I don't know. I'm not saying never. It's possible Colton will talk me into it, or we will come up with an angle that really makes it feel sufficiently different from our regular content that I think we could, justify it. But right now there is nothing. There's nothing in the plan. And we have other, business opportunities that we're looking at more imminently than that.
Yeah, mining for gold.
Like becoming a gold prospector if you were tuned into the pre-stream, which is archived exclusively on Floatplane. If you guys want to go back and watch the pre-show before WAN show or the pre-stream before streams like this, that's a good kind of value for that membership. But that doesn't take away from, just the tech knowledge that we're disseminating. Dan, you got another one for me?
Yes, I do.
Nice. Nice.
Hi, little d, little l, and no big L. Just built my first PC with ARGB. Any suggestions on control software that won't make me run programs from 3 different manufacturers to work for RAM, GPU, and motherboard?
I think I'm using Signal RGB on my system, my NCIX Sign PC in my office, and that seems to be going okay for me. I feel like that landscape is kind of always changing, and who has the low overhead application, it's kind of all over the place. For my own system, I can tell you right now, I don't bother. Like for my system at home where I actually care about performance, I just don't bother with it. I just let it be Rainbow Vomit, which doesn't have any CPU overhead, and I don't care. But if you care about it and you want to configure it, then maybe give Signal RGB a try. I'd say that would probably be your best bet. Just, full disclosure, they have been a sponsor of ours in the past. I don't think we've worked with them recently, but hey, there you go. Make of that what you will.
Signal is good. I would recommend.
You use Signal as well? Yeah. Okay, cool.
There is no perfect one, though.
Yeah, that's fair. Just plugging in fan connector here. I'm going to try. This is going to be pretty tough. Okay, Dan, you want to hit me again while I try and fight with this thing?
Yeah, sure.
I really wish I did this before I put in this NIC.
I put PTM 7950 on my CPU, and I have seen no cooling benefit over the Corsair thermal paste I had on there. Is my cooler the bottleneck, or did I probably apply it wrong?
I doubt that you applied it wrong. I think it'd be pretty hard to screw up applying PTM. And also, I want to make it clear that while we sell PTM 7950 and we think it's a great product, it's not magic. It's thermal paste. You should not expect to get a meaningful performance boost from thermal paste. You might see a couple degrees lower temps, depending on the processor type, but PTM is really best suited for direct die processors, like you might find in a laptop, for instance. So, I've been using these straps wrong for years. Interesting. Oh, check this out. I will come back to your question. I, for all this time, have been going like this and then strapping it down like that, which works, but that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to put them all the way under, then put this under, then go like that. Oh, brilliant. I just tech tipped myself. I am so happy. I can't believe that I've been doing this wrong all this time. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's working, then whatever, right? If it fits, I sits. But no, this is way better. This is great. Oh, actually, no, I don't like it as much on this one, because if I do it this way, then it's going to sit right there, and I'm going to see the stupid cable. Okay. Well, Okay, well, do it whatever way works for you. And this way works for me better for this one, so that I can get it over to this side, and I can trap it there between the hook and loop so it doesn't make its way back over. Okay. Well, I'm less annoyed with myself for doing it wrong now that I know that this way can also be valid. What question was I answering again? I no longer remember. Oh yeah, PTM. So really it's best for bare dies. So GPUs are a great example. We used PTM 7950 in the last Scrapyard Wars, and that ended up getting us really nice temps and contributed to our system being quieter, because the lower the temps on your GPU, the lower it will spin the fans, especially in the default profile before you tune anything. So there's a definite benefit there. But if you just throw it on a CPU with an IHS, an integrated heat spreader, and you expect like a performance difference compared to what is already a pretty high performance thermal paste, then yeah, I can see how you'd be disappointed, at least out of the gate. But the thing about PTM, or the other thing about PTM, is that it's designed for longevity. That stuff is super low validated to last for an extremely long time, many heating and cooling cycles. And my understanding is it actually tends to, instead of drying out like some other lesser thermal compounds, it actually has a tendency to perform a little bit better once it's broken in, which used to be, I feel like, more of a thing back in the day, back with like Arctic silver, and then became something that thermal paste manufacturers would market you didn't need for their compound, but then I guess it kind of became a thing again. So I don't know. There's a lot of mixed information about that, and frankly, don't take this the wrong way, but I simply don't care enough. We're at the point now where if you buy a high quality thermal compound, the difference of a degree or two here or there is not particularly meaningful to me. So for me, what I like about PTM is that I can use it in an application like a laptop or wherever, and I can know that it's not going to like dry out or wear out in a reasonable amount of time. I have, as I've gotten older and gotten busier and gotten less patient, I have found that I care far more about stuff just working and a little less about getting 1 degree more out of something, you know? All right, I'm just plugging in this. So what is this? What am I looking at here?
It's for the
voltage sense, I guess?
It's the voltage sense, yeah.
Oh, interesting. So it kind of, I guess, prioritizes making sure that you don't get any V droop to the GPU.
I can show you what the website says. I don't fully understand.
All right. So yeah, we plugged that little purple one in directly to the power supply, and then that is spliced into these 2 pins right here. CPU voltage sensing mode. So you can set it to either CPU or GPU first. Blah, blah, blah. Enhances voltage stability even during demanding gaming. So, all right. Maybe. We haven't looked at this in the lab or anything, so I don't actually know for sure if it does anything or if it matters, but I can tell you it probably doesn't hurt anything. So there you go.
And Linus, are we giving these systems to all of the editors?
I do not know what the plan is for these systems. That is a good question for infra. Hey, Dan, are we building systems like this for all the editors?
No, this is like the
Infra
tester. This is the
asked
tester
me.
one.
Oh, this is a test system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because I guess if switching to AMD doesn't actually even address the stability issues, then there would be no reason to do it. Mm-hmm. Understood. That makes perfect sense.
I expect it to be better than what we have now. I built a very similar system for myself, and it's been rock solid. We've been running AMD on the WAN, and this computer, knock on wood, that it's okay.
The WAN is a very different application than this, though. We don't even use Premiere. I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see, guys. Maybe what we should do is let's commit now to do a float plane follow-up, just like we did with the hardline tubing thing. So we can do a follow-up and we can let you guys know what we settled on. Or maybe what we'll do is if we do settle on these, we could do another stream where we build like half a dozen machines and we build a bunch of them on camera like we've done in the past.
That may be ill-advisable.
Oh, really? We shouldn't build computers on stream anymore? Are you saying that I didn't build them good last time, Dan?
I thought the ones
What are
that
you
we were
saying?
using last time were all built blindfolded. That's a rumor that I heard.
No, I think what they're thinking of was the time that I built alongside someone else. So the ones, other than, I did make one error on one of mine, but other than that, the ones I built were fine. But the ones that we had built by the randoms, I think had a lot of problems.
I think that was the problem.
Yeah, so I could build them all.
Yeah, okay.
Actually,
I could supervise. We could build them together. It'll be fun.
speaking of making mistakes, I several times have noted, oh yeah, I haven't plugged in my front connectors yet. And been like, oh, I should do that now. And then not done it. So I'm going to do that before we put the GPU in real quick here. Dan, do you have a merch message for me?
Yes, absolutely.
What?
Don't get more blood on it.
Thank you for that.
With the possible advent of SteamOS around the corner, is it true that AMD GPUs are preferable for Linux these days, or am I out of date or misinformed?
My understanding is that NVIDIA has made some progress on being more friendly for Linux. However, what the heck? However, Valve specifically supports AMD to a greater degree than they do NVIDIA. So What is going on here? Does this only have a power switch? Oh, so it does. Okay, cool. Well, that makes plugging this in a relatively simple affair. Okay, cool, that's there. So because Valve only builds in native support for AMD cards, they strongly recommend, if you go look at the requirements on their site for the SteamOS image, they strongly recommend that if you want to run it on a desktop, you configure that desktop to be as similar to a Steam Deck as possible for the best compatibility and stability experience. And I would recommend whatever Valve recommends when it comes to running their operating system, because yes, it's under the hood just Arch Linux, but it also isn't. Arch is highly customizable and can be very temperamental if not configured expertly, which is exactly what we are counting on Valve to do. That's what makes it SteamOS, is all the work that they've put into building out features and support and making sure that it all works together seamlessly. All right, this can go. And I think we're ready to talk about our GPU. This is the last big ASUS featured piece. It is their RTX 5080 ROG Astral. And 5080s look like they might be where we end up for our editing stations, regardless of whether we stick with an AMD platform or go crawling back to Intel. There's a couple of things that I wanted to kind of run through. First of all, this is a 2-generation upgrade for us. If you look back at both of our previous iterations there, that's the 2021 edition with Threadripper that's over on the right. And then that's the upgrade that we did behind the scenes to Intel 13th gen over on the left there. Both of them are featuring 3090s. So we're going all the way from Ampere to Blackwell, skipping over Ada Lovelace, or Ada, I think they ended up calling it. So that's going to give us not only additional performance, but with these 50 series, oh my goodness, this thing is huge. There we go. With the 50 series, that's going to give us their brand new media engine, which I am personally extremely excited for. Do we have any notes about that in here?
No, but it can do 422
Yeah.
HEVC
Yeah.
encoding and decoding.
So much higher quality encoding is the main thing that I care about. And that's going to come down to software support, whether we can utilize it at all. But if we're building new stations today, especially with the way that performance for performance, 40 series isn't really any cheaper, then this seems like the sweet spot for us. With that said, that all kind of relies on getting these things for something resembling MSRP, which has not been a thing yet, but that's okay. We can be patient. Anyway, this has an overclocked mode up to 2790 megahertz engine clock, 16 gigs of GDDR7 memory. We don't really do any AI stuff on our editing workstations, so we don't really need the extra VRAM of their top tier 5090. And ASUS claims that their quad fan design boosts airflow and pressure by up to 20%. They've also got their patented vapor chamber with milled heat spreader for lower GPU temperatures, and their phase change GPU thermal pad, along with powerful 50 amp MOSFETs to help ensure enhanced performance, stability, and higher overclocking potential. We won't be overclocking any of our workstations or anything like that, but I have heard through the grapevine that these 5080s are absolutely monster overclockers. They also have a protective PCB coating that can guard against moisture, apparently. So if you work in obviously don't throw it in the pool or whatever, but if you work in an extremely humid environment, that can be a legitimate concern, and it can also help with dust and extreme temperatures, apparently. And, whoop, I just mushed my cable. Oh boy, what the crap? Look at this bloody thing. It makes even a 3090 look kind of comical. You know, that's two 3090s back there, because we were using that for some kind of AI something or other. That's the one from the color booth, I think. Look at this thing; it's one card. Anyway, Their GPU Tweak 3 software is included for performance tweaking, advanced thermal controls, and system monitoring. Let's go ahead and get this plugged in. And hey, David, are we ready to run this thing?
I think we are.
All right, Dan, do you want to hit me with a couple merge messages while we get this all, kind of get a monitor on the desk and get this all set up?
Absolutely.
All right, good stuff.
Linus, you and your team are super awesome sauce. Loved all the LMG channels since the day I found them. Thank you. Excited for my bag, pen, and precision screwdriver. That's not a question, but that was just super nice.
Oh, that is super
Nice
nice.
As a Micron employee, I love seeing the crucial storage. Linus, how do you go about deciding how to hire engineers for labs and CW? How did you know what qualifications you needed?
That is an excellent question. One that would probably be best handled by the people who do hiring for us these days. Truthfully speaking, I am not really involved in the hiring process anymore. I can tell you that we don't necessarily, require someone to have their PEng, so their like official engineering certification. In fact, I don't think anyone on the CW team has technically completed it, even though the reason for it is not necessarily because they're like not good enough or whatever. Like one of them, I'm gonna mangle the details on this, but it's something along these lines. But one of them basically was on the brink of doing it, but then their mentor or like their proctor or whatever, I don't remember what the term is for it, but their mentor person died. And then for them to do it after that would require them to like redo something, and they were just like, well, I'm working already. Like, forget it. So just because they don't necessarily have the credentials doesn't mean that they don't have the skills. I will say that we definitely care a lot about hiring for attitude and for willingness to learn, because knowledge can be taught, but a natural curiosity and a willingness to learn new things can't. I think like a great example of that is actually walking around over there. Like David started here as a camera guy / editor, found that he really didn't enjoy the editing part of it, transitioned to camera guy.
Editing is awful.
It's the worst.
Even though, and I'm going to call him out a little bit here, even though, frankly, his camera skills when he started were a little rough around the edges sometimes, but that was when he started. He got way better at it. He has a great attitude, and now he's gone from, first he started on the writing team as a junior writer, now he's a full writer, and has just taken that passion and that willingness to learn and made this place go from like a McJob doing something he hated, editing, to I think he's having a lot more fun these days.
I think so.
Yeah, so I don't know. So that's what's really important, is prioritizing like attitude and willingness to learn, because like, yeah, I think you could be stuck in a dead-end position at a job and you could go, oh, my company's not doing enough to provide career advancement or change opportunities for me. Or you can, just get in there and contribute and learn and, find new things to do. I don't know. I personally have been having a lot of fun working on David's projects, which to me is always a strong indicator that we're having fun creating them overall, because I tell the team this like all the time. This is on our like laws of making good videos. Have fun, because the audience's bullshit detector is like finely tuned. And if you're faking it, if you're pretending that you're having fun, they pick up on that immediately, and they're not having fun, and then no one's having fun, and why are we even here, right? And it's like, yeah, we could be here just to get raw, dry information. Like from our 5080 review, we found that the DaVinci Puget Bench results were about 25% better than our old systems with the 3090. And we found that our Premiere Puget Bench results were about 22% better compared to our old 3090. That's really useful, valuable information. But if we don't make it fun, then we're not making it accessible to as many people. So that's really important to us. Another thing I'm supposed to do while David finishes that off, is I'm supposed to change into our featured shirt for today. Here we go. This right here is our sport button-up shirt because we are, serious business people now. We're no longer in our early 20s, creating a tech channel and whatever. Now we're expected to kind of look somewhat decent, and this is a great way to do it. I think. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm probably mangling the audio. I think this is part of our 9 to 5 lineup. I actually can't remember, but basically, it looks like a professional button-up shirt. See? Looks all professional, but it's like super comfy. So it's like really stretchy. See that? It's like crazy stretchy. It's also nice and breathable and is like wicking and stuff. So you can be a sweaty boy and be doing real work in this thing and still be reasonably comfortable. So yeah, there you go. LTTstore.com. David, do you need any help now that I am
Mice
done
and keyboards are
doing
the
all the
last
stuff I'm
thing.
supposed to? Oh, okay. There should be some grab and goes in here too, as well, right?
Usually.
I have one set, maybe. I don't know if there's a dongle for. Nope, the dongle for this mice is missing. Gotta love it.
Keyboard.
I can't even really get mad at people about that because I'm
one
as
doesn't have
bad
a
as
dongle.
anyone about it. Do you have enough grab and go
No.
for the whole class? Wait. Oh, really?
Yeah, there might be some over here.
Okay, well, hey, here's a little bit of inside baseball for you guys. We are supposed to have grab-and-go keyboards, mice, power supplies, microphones. Wait, what is he talking about? There's totally... David, there's totally grab-and-go keyboards here.
What's that?
There's so many grab-and-go keyboards here.
There's no mice, though.
Yeah, there's mice.
I don't like those mice.
Oh, you don't like
No,
these
I don't
mice?
know. I just, I knew that there was a couple that had been moved. So.
Okay. All right, that makes way more sense then. So funny. I very regularly get called, oh, well, he's got 2 keyboards too. I very regularly get called sort of like out of touch because I have enough money that realistically I can afford any keyboard I want and any GPU I want and all of that. But the biggest divas we have here are not me. Like, I regularly have to bring Plouffe back down to earth in terms of what normal people expect from a monitor and what normal people are willing to spend on a monitor and stuff like that. And like, I am willing to use not any mouse, but like almost any mouse on set. But you'll have people like David that are just like.
Oh, I was being silly. These mice suck.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, okay, never mind. Still, I think you care a fair bit about your stuff.
I do.
I mean, if you've seen his garage, you know Buddy's a gamer.
No.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure.
We're missing one Ethernet. Do we really only have one cable?
No, there's a blue one right there. You can just plug that in anywhere on the Switch and then we're good to go. Dan, you want to hit me with a merch message? Oh, in case you guys are wondering what the heck we're setting up, this is a drag race between the new machine and the less new machine. Let's see. Oh, let's see if she fires up.
Oh, it's gonna
I do.
rotate.
And oh no, guys, I did it. I whammied us. I put the side panels on.
You fool!
There is no chance that this just fires up on the first try.
There
anymore.
actually is probably
I don't know.
very
It's got
little chance.
Asus components in it. It might be perfect.
Well,
No, it doesn't matter.
the 4 sticks of RAM might.
It doesn't matter. When you close the side panel, there is literally no chance that it will fire up the first time without issue.
Editors are cursed. Do you want a merch message while we wait for it to fail?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you hit me with a merch message?
Buying my first LTT product. I really hope the quality matches the expectations. Also, a question. In the Scribe Driver negative reviews, I heard some people complaining about the clicking sound. Is it still an issue?
Still an issue. Clicking sound on the Scribe Driver? I don't think I have a Scribe Driver on me. Does anybody have a Scribe Driver around?
I don't have one.
Mine is at my desk.
There's one on your desk. That's not going to help us much.
It's kind of far.
See you in
Oh, wait.
20 minutes.
Do I have a... Where's the little?
I thought the scribe driver was supposed to click.
Yeah, no, it definitely is supposed to, make a satisfying noise. Let me see if I can just steal one from someone's desk. I'll be back. David will host for now.
The
Does anyone have a scribe driver?
configuration is very challenging, so the memory
Anyone
training takes
scribe
a very,
driver?
very, very long time.
It's going to take a while to train
Sam would.
anyway.
Yeah. But this capacity is very, very high. When I was testing it before, we got 128 gigs working.
Yeah.
We did not succeed at getting 256.
Well, I've done streams with Linus before, and he's freaking out because he thinks the computer's broken, and it's just taking a long time to train for the first time.
Yeah.
So just give it extra time.
Yeah. Even when I did it with, or the person doing it did it with one stick, it took 3-4 minutes. So
Let's.
I'm here to entertain. Although, where did Linus go? Oh, Strict
Hi there. Business team will almost certainly have one.
I sure hope so.
It looks like I've got Windows on the other one, so that's working.
Okay, fantastic.
There
That
we
is our
go.
old system. It's funny, we were originally going to do the thumbnail where we put the two computers side by side, but they're going to look so similar. It's the same case, same cooler. So just the GPU would be different, and then a thumbnail. That would really be unimpressive. That's not what we go for. We go for blowing you away, you know what I'm saying? Oh,
Found one.
listen to that click.
So it's a bolt action pen. So there's not really a click when you slide it into place. But there's a bit of a snap from the spring when you rock it back. So that's how it's supposed to work. Whose desk did I take this from? Well, we'll figure that out later. In the meantime, time to troubleshoot this PC.
Should we let it memory train longer, do you think?
I think it should memory train for longer.
You want to let it keep memory training?
Yeah.
Is that what it's doing? Is that what code 15 is?
It's a memory thing, yeah.
Oh boy. So that's the thing, right? AMD platforms can take a minute to memory train, and the more you have, and the more ridiculous your configuration, the longer you can expect to wait. ASUS code 15.
For people that don't know, when he says a minute, he means that metaphorically, and it could be like 20 minutes.
It's like it's a concerning amount of time, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Q code 15. Okay, yes, it's definitely memory related. If the memory worked fine on another board, it was probably okay. All right. Well, Dan, want to hit me with another merch message?
Sure, yeah, I've got a few here. Let's see. Hey, Linus, Dan, and David. As what? What did he say?
I said, yo!
Oh. I thought Linus was freaking out about the computer.
No,
As
no.
someone who finds himself screaming at Windows at work regularly, I'm curious, what do you all do when things aren't going your way? Do research? Take a break?
Cry.
Hey, that was my answer.
Yeah, first get really frustrated. Then, the next thing is like a Google search, unless I, have already encountered it before. A lot of the time when I encounter a tech issue, I've seen something like it at some point in the past. So I will have at least a starting point. But for example, right now, my system just randomly closes Chrome every once in a while. Has that happened in a script review with you?
No.
Oh, it just happens sometimes. Just Chrome just shuts down. It just shuts down.
That's awesome.
Also, occasionally I'll come into the office and it doesn't wake up from sleep anymore. It has some serious issues, and I think they're related to probably the IMC on my CPU, because that's something I've learned over the years, is if something is completely inexplicable, then it's the power supply or RAM. If nothing makes sense or it's intermittent, power supply or RAM. That assumes you've already done a fresh Windows install, because it could also definitely be Windows. Research. Go find a guide. We have the whatever wonder of the world that is YouTube available to us, and you can do just about anything there until they pull the video down about how to de-Google your life.
I'm a big believer in stepping away for 10 minutes and then just hoping it fixes itself and coming back, and sometimes it does.
Oh, dude, and if it doesn't, then it can also fix your mind.
Yeah.
The number of times that I've been stumped on a Wordscapes puzzle for 10 minutes, and then just put it away and come back to it the next day and solved it instantly.
Oh,
It's wild what a fresh perspective will do for you.
Oh yeah, when you're facing a boss in a video game and you can't beat it, you're like, this is impossible, and then you go away and first try when you come back.
Yeah.
My son is 7 and getting really curious about circuits and computers and how they work.
Cool.
Any ideas for how to get him engaged or excited? My best idea now is rebuilding an old beater off of Craigslist.
I mean, it depends how interested they are in like actual circuits and stuff versus just building computers. But there was this kit that we picked up a while back that was pretty cool. It's less electronics and more electricity. Let me see if I can find the one. Snap circuits, is that the one? Yes, here's your CAPTCHA, just to go to amazon.ca, really?
What?
Yeah, snap circuits. It's pretty cool. So it comes with a book, and it comes with like a bunch of different stuff. Like there's a fan, and there's a light, and there's little resistor boards and stuff like that. And it basically has like a project book that it comes with, and you use these snapping pieces to build a whole bunch of different projects. So they'll learn about DC electricity and switches and the different functions of all the different little modules. Pretty cool. My son played around with it a fair bit actually when he was younger, and then got bored of it, because as kids are apt to do, but yeah, it definitely seems pretty cool. Are we going to call that it for memory training, Wayne?
I think so. I think we should go to 2 sticks.
Yeah, so we ran into this when we were preparing for this build. We did not actually manage to get all 4 sticks running, so your mileage may vary on that, but apparently ASUS and Kingston are working on getting 256 gigs of RAM working on these CU DIMMs in bypass mode. As it is, even getting just 128 gigs working at the speed that we were able to get it working at is pretty cool. So I think we got 5,600 work, 5,200?
We actually, with the 128, we're getting above 6,000.
Really?
They claim 256 at 5,600.
Okay, got it. So let's go ahead and shut this bad boy down. Your mileage may vary though.
I mean, compared to the old system of 120 gigs, which was set at 4,000 megatransfers per second, even 5,600 would be a huge upgrade. Although, in editing, the capacity is more important than the speed.
Certainly for After Effects.
Yeah.
It's like 100% just everything's dumped to RAM.
Yep.
Oh boy. Can I even get it? Oh, wait!
I didn't like that sound.
Okay. Well, she's in there. I'm gonna need to get her out of there. Oh, there we go. That'll work. Yeah, there's one of the sticks. Other more different stick. All right. Yeah, high capacity memory compatibility on AMD is a
Do we need a
big
sag
challenge.
bracket for that card?
Does it come with one?
No, I don't think so.
Woo! Woohoo!
She's
She's heavy.
I think we
She's
just
heavy. She's saggy.
DIY something beautiful.
She's saggy. Nah, she's okay. It's not gonna break it. You really gonna?
Let's
Yeah.
get a second one?
No. That'll be yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's
okay,
right.
it's
You
okay.
need 2.
She's all right.
I like the way David thinks.
That is not a reason to buy multiple precision screwdriver
I
sets.
think we should put that on the sales page. Works as an excellent sag bracket for your stupidly large GPU.
Buy a 3-pack.
Okay, we're still stuck on 15, but this time it could just be training. I wonder if that other time it was. I wonder if it was training
I
still.
told you.
Did we try leaving it for like half an hour?
No, we didn't have time. We were in such a rush this morning.
Oh, because Jake has told me that he has seen it in the past with these AMD systems where he will literally give up and like walk away and come back and memory training is complete.
I told you. It's a concerning length of time.
So your mileage may vary. Hopefully this will train and be good in a reasonable amount of time. But in the meantime, Dan will kill some time with another merge message.
Sure. Hi, I'm planning on building a new PC, and I was looking to use it for gaming / productivity / streaming. I was looking at getting the Ryzen 9 9950X, or should I wait for the X3D or go with the 9950X?
If gaming is your primary consideration, then it's hard not to justify the extra upcharge for the X3D versus the non-X3D variant. But if realistically it's like a family computer / like sort of workstation, you do a bunch of other stuff on it, I don't know that I would bother waiting. Like if you want a new computer, then get a new computer. There's always something around the corner. And what we have found is that particularly if you're gaming at higher resolutions, like even 1440p, if you have a modern CPU, it's not going to be your bottleneck anyway. So it kind of is what it is. And the thing is, you're buying into AM5, which AMD has still committed to supporting until, I think, 2027. So you will have future upgrade options available to you. So you could always maybe throw an X3D in later once they come down in price, and you just kind of flip your 9950 or whatever the case may be. This is this is still not booting up.
It took 4+ minutes for one stick, so it takes.
Why don't you tell us about the old system that we're going to be upgrading from?
Sure, I could do that. So this is the old Intel-based one. So we've got a 13900K. This also has 128 gigs of memory, but running at much lower speeds because we're populating all 4 memory slots. This particular system has dual 3090s because I believe it was used for some AI inferencing stuff in addition to being used as an editing station in one of the isolated booths. Same SSD, same 1 terabyte Crucial P5. We're using these ProArt motherboards not because they make any sense whatsoever at the price, but because I think ASUS gave us like a sweetheart of a deal on them, and I wouldn't say no to that. There's certainly nothing wrong with them. We're using Seasonic Prime power supplies. Yeah, good power supply, but so is the ASUS. As long as you're using a good power supply, I don't think that's going to have any kind of impact on performance or stability.
Seasonic doesn't have a magnetic OLED though.
Yeah, that's true. Seasonic does not have that. Way to go, Seasonic. Get with the times. All right, Dan, hit me.
Sure. Hey, Linus, do you think the computer industry will outlast the games industry? I got a game design degree, and we'll see how that's going, so I'm going to law school, waiting on some LSAT results.
Everything is cyclical in both tech and gaming, and those two cycles in those two industries do contribute to each other. They've both seen a major pullback. The tech industry one, I kind of understand because things were reaching a point of somewhat ridiculousness for how hard the big tech giants were bidding for any employee. Like literally anyone fresh out of school was just getting bombarded with job offers for a little while there, to the point where it just kind of didn't seem to be sustainable forever. So I understand where the pullback is coming from there. I wish they weren't pulling back so hard because the impact on people who have spent years of their lives educating themselves to work in the tech industry, or in some cases spent years of their lives working at these companies, are just being summarily let go or being put in a position where they feel like they're being pushed to quit. And that sucks. The games industry is one that I don't really get as much. Like, yeah, there was a big COVID boom, and some studios overhired, and ambitious projects were begun that maybe weren't going to pan out. And so I can see a little bit of that happening. But when you have some of these companies that, and David follows the games industry a little bit closer than I do, but when you have some of these companies, announcing a big layoff and then literally talking record profits like a week later, it doesn't really track for me. I don't really understand it.
I think there's multiple layers to the issue of how it happens. I think that, the chase for profits is one of it. I think part of it is we've seen the collapse of new live service games. Like, new live service games rarely succeed. And that for a little bit, that was what the big investments were. Like Concord's the big one, $200+ million.
Right.
Just down the drain.
Gone.
Yeah.
How long was it live? Like a week, 2 weeks?
It's something like that.
Something
10
like
days
that.
Or something.
Yeah, and then they just refunded everyone and walked away from it.
They might bring it back, but who knows?
But then you got to look at it and you got to go like, okay, so fine. The investments that we've made in live service games, we're just not going to be able to topple Fortnite. We're not going to be able to we're not going to be able to draw that audience away from it. But then, From Software, Larian have shown that there's a massive appetite for not live service games. Like, so do we have to lay all these people off? Oh, hey.
That's a different code.
Dude, I wonder if we just didn't wait long enough.
Do you want to
I told you.
I don't know if I want to try on stream,
Yeah, I guess.
but I do want to say that it is very possible, given how long this was hanging on 15, that this was just memory training before, and it was 256 gigs of flipping memory and needed a hot minute to finish training. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. Anyway, the point is, like, I feel like people could have been reassigned.
I got
Something?
You got
it.
something?
on mine.
He's got something.
the
Well,
monitor
99.
on.
It was on 96 for a bit.
Yeah, no, I've got bias. If we do whoop.
Is this display on?
It's not getting signal.
This is not plugged in.
Oh, it must have come unplugged.
So there's your problem.
Maybe I unplugged it.
Oh wait, it is plugged in. I lied. Yeah, this one. Okay.
It was working before. Oh, it's not. The monitor seems to be the one that's having the issue. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, let's give it a sec.
I've got it on my side.
Sick. We're close, guys. We're close. Dan, are you troubleshooting something, or do you want to hit me with a...
No, I'm just waiting for this monitor.
Hey!
Hey, let's go. All right.
You'll want to go into BIOS and make sure.
I sure will.
Oh, we got to go test that AI assistant too.
Oh, that's right. Okay. How does that work?
Actually.
Do you know anything about it?
Nope.
All right. Tools, maybe?
Let me look it up.
Well, it's not in there. Q dashboard? Nope. Oh, is that
That's
a block
cool.
diagram?
Oh, wow.
Not quite. It does give you the device ID, though. That can be really useful if you're doing like pass-through or whatever. I think you can look it up in Linux anyway, but I don't know. It's there. Okay. Full HD setup. Whoa, you can have full HD in the setup screen? Oh, I guess I don't care. At any rate, we already appear to have our memory profile enabled because it's already running at 5600. No, we don't. Interesting. AEMP. Huh. We are not going to try to go all the way to 6800.
Try it.
No. That's not going to happen. We're going to go to, what was it, 5600 you guys got working, or 6000?
He got 64 working.
64?
Yeah, he was above 6,000.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we could do 64.
I think he said he got 68, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay, you know what? Fine, we're going to try it. I will be very surprised, and also we might be... It's not always better to just go for pure frequency, especially on AMD these days, but what the heck. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if it happens. It won't have to fully retrain. It should just reset. And oh boy, it's stuck on 15 again. Cool. Dan, quick, stall for time. Go, go,
Yeah,
go.
it's going to have to retrain. I'm considering upgrading my RAM from 5600 megatransfers C36 to 6000 megatransfers C30. Just can't decide if the performance is worth it or if I should just keep waiting until the latencies get even tighter.
I don't know how much tighter we're going to see DDR5 latencies, and you're going to be limited not just by the memory that's available, but also by the integrated memory controller on your CPU, which understandably tends to be kind of targeting the memory that is available during the development of said CPU. As for whether you're going to notice a meaningful performance difference, you might see a little bit from that. Not enough to justify the full price of that new memory kit, but if you sell your old memory kit, get a decent price for it, and you're only paying like another, $30, $40 or something like that on top of what you were able to sell for, then I'd say that could be a worthwhile upgrade. Yeah.
So the AI thing is a desktop thing.
It's a desktop
I thought it
thing.
was in the BIOS based on the marketing, but
Okay, cool.
It's a desktop thing.
All right, we'll get to that when we get to it then.
We'll have to install it. But
All right, Dan, hit me.
Linus, what DIY projects are you working on apart from Lambo Bike? Thoughts on more DIY or maker content? I love the VPN video and would love to more videos on PyNAS or HexOS builds, setup start to finish.
Given I cannot finish that project, do I need another project right now? I will say that I am learning about casting. I've always been kind of interested in it. I did a metal art and jewelry class back in high school, and I had a ton of fun. I made like a cool chain out of just like silver wire, and what else did I make? I made a small cast pendant, and I thought it was such a blast. So I'm reading this book called Practical Guide to Casting. I'm about halfway through, and I just finished the part where it talks about sling casting. So to fling the metal into the investment that the mold is in, there's multiple ways to do it. So you can use like a centrifugal thing where you like wind up a spring and then you let go and it like spins and it like flings the molten metal into the mold. You can do ones that are just like gravity driven. So what you do is you just have like not gravity driven, vacuum driven. So you have like a vacuum that you pull around the mold and it like sucks the metal into it. And I just got to the one about sling casting, where basically what you do is you take your mold and then the gate at the top, you make it narrow enough that the surface tension of the molten metal will keep it from going down. So you can melt it all, you melt it all, and then you put it in a sling, and you basically like whip it around like this to drive the metal down through the gate into the mold. And I'm like, what? Because that's pretty cool. So I wanna learn about casting. ZOS 015 says, please finish the SV650S. It's my old bike, and I'd love to see it decked out. Yeah, I know.
And we want the beard back.
I want the beard back too, and I will do it as soon as I finish painting that stupid bike. I gave a progress update on Wancho a little while ago. I haven't touched it since then, but most of the parts are white now, which is the layer before pink, which is the layer before effect layer, which is the layer before clear coat. So yeah. Oh, it's booted.
Yeah.
No way. Is this at 6800 or did it reset?
Check, but we can see.
Yeah.
Totally is. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool.
We'll see how stable it is.
Yeah.
We are asking a lot.
Yeah. 1080p, right?
Yeah, for capture.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay.
And we need to. Dan's gonna come over and connect this to the server so we can have
Oh, yeah.
open our project.
I have to do my job.
All right. I don't have the merch message panel open, so I'm going to hang out with Floatplane chat for now.
Yo, what up, Floatplane?
I'm going to beat GTA 6. My bike will be done before GTA 6 launches. I promise you that.
It's coming out this fall.
What?
It's coming out this fall.
Shut up.
Yeah. Get on it. Yeah, they just told it to investors that it's still coming 2025.
Oh, okay. Man, it's really tough because, like, it's actually really hard to paint with the tennis elbow. The gun
I actually believe that, yeah.
and the hose and then the hopper and all the different angles and stuff. So I don't know if I've really talked about this much, but I developed tennis elbow after that tournament I played late last year. And we're now in February of this year, and it is still causing a significant amount of pain. I haven't basically been able to play badminton since Smash Champs fully opened. I did play a little bit last night. I hit one smash last night, and I'm not suffering today.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm wondering if the physio is helping. Tynan actually gave me this thing, which like looks like some kind of medieval torture device or something, and it honestly feels like one.
How hard are these?
They're not that hard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But what you do is you sit like this, because it's what I learned is that it's not actually the inflammation that is the problem of the tendon. That's ligaments and building muscle and all that. So the micro tears are not what cause the inflammation and the pain. It's the micro tears combined with an overuse, like a repetitive strain kind of overuse of the muscles on either side that are pulling it apart while you have all the micro tears and causing the inflammation and the swelling and the pain. So what you have to do, and you use this thing, is what's this weird thing called? Roll flex, not two L's. Roll flex, not roll flex. Raw flex. Roll flex. So you kind of clamp it with your other arm, and you kind of like get into the spot. You're like, oh, it hurts so much.
But like the good hurt.
No.
No?
No, it hurts. Okay.
Like, for you, it probably hurts. Yes, because you're actually injured.
And you're not supposed to do the site of the injury. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to like really work out the tension that's pulling the injury site apart above and below it. And it's kind of like, you're supposed to like move the arm around, like especially down here. And between this and just sort of getting a little bit better at identifying the right spots to do the massage, it's been helping a lot. I also did some physio. They did like ultrasound, and then they did the weird one where they hook up the electrodes to it, and it like that. They did it a little bit too high one time, and like my hand got stuck like this, and I was like, "Come on!" And then, anyway. Oh, hey.
Yeah, it's connected to the server. We're gonna load a project.
Nice.
We didn't conform the audio beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Everything was just so rushed this morning.
Well, hey, we'll see how
Mark, do you want to load a
see how it
project on
goes.
the computer?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, how are you?
Never better.
Really?
I think we might have to.
Wait, which computer?
This one.
That one.
This
This
one.
is the new station. So
This is new.
we wanted to bring one of our editors out, and the script says, "Do something."
Okay.
We won't drag race the premiere between the two.
Oh,
We'll just
sure.
do just premiere on this one.
So basically, we want to get your. Oh, you can turn that on. We want to get your impression of if this would be if we took your workstation away tomorrow, and we gave you this, would you be happy, sad, or somewhere in between?
Probably happy.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. You could. You're picking up the vibe now that I was talking about before.
I'm lost.
Oh,
Where am I supposed to
Go
go?
this PC.
Huh? This PC?
One of the
there we go.
Ah, there we go.
There we go. All right, good stuff. Don't open the HR folder. We are live. Is he mic'd?
He's mic'd.
Yeah.
I'm not mic'd anymore.
Oh, brilliant. Wonderful. So what are your main complaints with the current stations? I'm going to switch spots with you, okay, Andy? I'm going to kind of stack up on Mark here.
Actually, the current
Oh,
one-
no, yeah, there you go.
the current ones are fine.
Oh.
It was actually the thread rippers that were the problem. The current ones, the issue is there's not enough VRAM on the 3090s. For Resolve, I feel like we need to upgrade the VRAM.
Uh-oh. No one told me that. They
Really?
didn't tell me you needed more VRAM, so these are 5080s. They have less VRAM.
These are 5080s.
Yeah, this is a 5080.
Less VRAM than the. Maybe it's just better VRAM. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's see. Good Lord.
Well, okay. The good thing is we don't use Resolve very often. It's usually Premiere.
Yeah, but
which
still.
doesn't use a lot of
So wait, I was told QuickSync was causing stability issues, though.
QuickSync.
Or just
Really?
the Intel ones had
ones.
stability
Yeah.
issues.
There's lots of editors that have been having daily.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see. That might be the issue. I know that Threadripper was causing a lot more issues though. That I don't even know what they were
Okay.
or what was causing it, but
So basically, there's ghosts living in computers, and if you anger the ghosts, they will punish you. So Mark apparently doesn't mind his Intel machine, but we have gotten a lot of complaints from the other. I mean, our editing team is almost a dozen people now, I think. So even if 10% of systems have an issue, that's 1 to 2 of our editors is going to have a problem with it, right?
During Scrapyard Wars.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, during Scrapyard Wars, we would have late night editing sessions, and it would delay us like an hour or two because it would just crash consistently, and we'd have to reload. You're just waiting, and it was very frustrating.
And that was on the Intel systems.
That was on the Intel ones.
Okay, hold on, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna close that. Are you just like looking for your favorite project, or
yeah, I'm looking for the one I'm working on right now.
Oh, okay,
Here
cool.
we go. Gaming at 8K.
on the 5090?
Yeah.
On the amount of VRAM you thought you were going to get in your new station.
I was hopeful. I heard we were switching to 50 series. I just thought it was going to be equivalent 50 series.
I was more interested in the better media encoder. I didn't realize you guys needed a ton of VRAM for Resolve. Here,
Well-
I'm going to click OK.
yeah.
All right, sick.
A lot of it, I think, is just Resolve optimization issues.
Okay.
'Cause
Hey, Linus,
And
would
also-
you just open your shirt a bit? You're rubbing quite heavily.
Sorry about that. Is that better?
One more, one more.
One more.
Show us some.
Seriously? I'm going full Italian.
Yeah, there you go.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I don't know. I don't edit. So, okay. So Mark, you have to come this way, and then
Yep.
Andy. No. Yeah, there you go. And then Andy goes over there, and then no. You still use the computer. No, but with your right hand. This is what happens when we let not on camera people on camera.
like
there you
this.
go. Just
Oh,
like
hey.
that. And then I go right here. And
He's
then
an
we can see
on-camera
everything.
people now.
It's good. And then when you talk to me, you just kind of turn your head this way, but don't bother looking at me. It's fine.
Got it.
It'll look natural to them.
Offline all.
Okay,
No.
cool.
Yeah. All right, here we are.
Well, you definitely offlined all.
Yeah. Well, no, it's pending.
Okay.
In multiple languages, dude.
Now, are we at 10 gig, Dan?
No,
Did we check?
no, because we have to install the drivers specifically for that card.
We did.
Okay, well, it wouldn't
Yeah,
resolve.
I had
Maybe that's because I had it was in the wrong port on the switch.
Okay, one sec.
So throw it back in
we
there.
did install the drivers.
Okay. Okay, so let
See
me
if that
see some
connects.
winky lights. Sorry, Mark, that's probably going to impact your ability to load that footage.
Ooh, what's happening?
There you go.
Hello.
Well, I unplugged your network, so.
See if it's
Yep.
gotten an IP at least.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
No,
yeah.
no, it's all good.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck?
I would strongly recommend against doing that while you're loading a project. That's
Yeah.
not great.
Not recommended.
Did I
No, it's okay.
ruin everything?
Nah.
Okay,
we're
cool.
good.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Our editors are used to just, the infrastructure collapsing in the middle of their editing.
Used to happen all the time. Remember when the UPS caught fire?
Yeah, I do remember when the UPS caught fire. And yes, I didn't mean that as a dig at our infra team. Our infra team does a great job these days, but we didn't used to have an infra team. And Mark is from the old times. You're over 5 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he remembers when the infra team was me in my spare time.
And Jake.
Yeah, and Jake. Sometimes.
Times when you can find him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if I told you this is your station now, what would you think?
Right now, I'd be fine. This is not bad. The responsiveness is actually better. Hold on, we're at half.
Okay, so we're going full res here, boys.
Yeah.
Full res here, boys.
Oh, hey. That's offline. Oh, Mogarts haven't loaded.
Motion graphics.
Yeah, motion graphic templates, yeah.
How's it feel?
Pretty good, pretty good. There's nothing that stands out. Let's see.
We'll
Yes.
obviously do a more detailed analysis at some point before we just roll these out to everybody. But that looks really good. Like, is that on par with what you have now, or is that
Yeah.
like really good?
Yeah, this is solid. I would like to. I know we're not benchmarking.
Yeah, we're
But
good.
can I do an export?
Yeah, I mean, you could do whatever you want.
Actually,
It's a
no.
free country.
Maybe just a render. Wait, what? That's control, right? Oh, it doesn't have my keyboard shortcuts.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, one sec. No. Render, no.
Okay, here we go. So what are you expecting here?
Nothing.
Okay, cool.
I'm not entirely sure what I should be expecting, but it seems to be rendering on par with what we have at least.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, so if this could solve some of the stability issues that some of the other folks are having, are we really seeing 90% usage of that RTX 5080?
Oh yeah. Premiere is GPU optimized now.
She's hungry.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She's a hungry boy.
That's what I was saying.
Oh my God, we're capping out our memory.
Yeah.
Just about. Oh crap.
We need 5090.
Oh crap.
I thought you knew this, Linus.
No, I didn't know this. I thought the 5080s were going to be okay for the editing stations.
Isn't there something higher than the 5090 though?
No, well, no. No, there isn't.
Not that costs less than like 10.
Nope, there isn't.
No, didn't they call those
Nope.
Quattros before? or
Nope,
something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The 5100s.
Oh, man. Oh, this blows. How many desks are in here?
13.
Dang it. Lucky 13.
This is because you put the panels on.
Even at MSRP, that's another 13,000 US dollars. And ain't nobody getting any 5090s at MSRP.
How much did you say? 13,000?
Yeah, because one for every
Aren't they
system.
$1,800?
Well, they're $2,000.
$2,000.
Nobody has an M, but 5080s $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm talking the additional cost
Yeah.
over the 5080.
I have an idea.
Look what you did, Mark.
You little jerk.
What if you get two 5080s? And then you got like, what was it called? SLI?
Yeah, we don't have SLI anymore.
NVLink?
No NVLink anymore. not on the consumer cards.
Also, you need a monster case to fit 2 of those in there.
Yeah, no kidding. oh, this blows. Dang it.
I mean, it's workable. It's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah, I don't want workable. I want good.
Mac?
You know?
Yeah, Apple is really.
Oh yeah, he's an Apple fanboy.
Solid.
We actually have a video coming out very soon. Linus switches to Mac for a month, and I believe it's probably going to be coming out this weekend. The shopping segment, and Mark was sort of our resident advisor to make sure that we picked the right Mac. So I ended up, dude, I'm so upset. So I ended up with a MacBook Air with an M3, and I think I went with 16 gigs of RAM, which I think will be enough for me for mobile. So I went with the Mac Mini, the M4 Mac Mini. Just this week, Apple announced that they're doing first-party refurb M4 Mac Minis. I would have bought a refurb.
Yeah. M4 Mac Mini?
Yeah,
Wow.
Already?
already.
What are you refurbing?
Well, I don't know exactly.
That concerns me because like how many Mac Minis, M4 Mac Minis have been refurbished?
Well, no,
Like-
I
like
think
how-
they're just, dude, I think they're just selling a butt ton of these things. And I think that, you know, anytime you sell a butt ton of something, you're going to, even if 1% of people don't like it, if you sell 1 million of them, that's 100,000 returns. Or, 10,000 returns. So I think it's just a natural part of doing a high volume business. So with that in mind, like, dude, I'd have bought one of those, no problem. I'd have totally saved a few bucks. So part of the premise was that I wasn't allowed to just shop for a Mac just by grabbing one out of our warehouse. I had to actually buy it after I settled on it. So I ended up cheaping out a little bit more than I would have if I just grabbed whatever I wanted. But so would you be interested in moving to Mac Minis or Mac Studios?
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
All
I mean,
right.
cost analysis here, like Mac Mini M4 versus like readily available.
Okay, tell me this. Is there anything that you do that would benefit from having like a fatter, because this is a way more powerful system than the Mac Mini in any configuration.
Right.
Is there anything that you do that would benefit from just more raw horsepower?
Not now that we're off the red cameras.
Okay, but it's not like we don't still have them. If we pulled them out of mothballs for a project, would you wish you had more power?
I think, okay, I hate to say this because you can never have too much power when you're editing. So it depends on what we're doing. So
Right.
complex effects, layers and layers of animations, it can really, or keying. Keying is another
Right.
big one.
Right. So whether that's for Tech Linked or if and when we bring Tech Wiki back.
Yeah. We haven't needed to do it much. There's not many LTTs that call for it.
Right.
And we have the Ultimat now too that can handle that.
So that does the keying in the box at the point of recording, which is so cool. That was a smart acquisition by Blackmagic. That thing is so cool.
So I honestly, I think this would be enough.
This would be enough.
Yeah.
Oh, like you don't need. Oh, sorry, I was talking Mac Mini versus this.
Yeah,
like, would
yeah.
you be happy to have the extra power of this?
Oh yeah.
I wasn't even talking about 5090. So do you think I could get away with 5080?
Here's the problem. If we switch to Mac Minis, it would be a very contentious subject. We are, as editors, we are split pretty much 50-50 Apple and PC users at home. And I know the PC users at home would be a lot more upset working at Linus Tech Tips with Mac Minis.
That's true.
The optics aren't the greatest.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, anyway, thank you, Mark, for coming and sort of talking us through this. It looks like there's no obvious game-breaking issues, at least here out of the gate. Other than that, our VRAM usage is higher than I anticipated.
Let's come down.
It's come down a little bit, but come down now doesn't help me. I need it to be, like, if that's what we needed at the beginning of the render, then that's what we need. So we may be seriously considering 5090s rather than 5080s. So, all right, thank you very much. Now, since we're here, I don't know, should we fire up a game on it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, Mark.
You need my mic back.
Oh, yeah.
Can you move?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to cancel that. It's very responsive. I know that's something that used to be a big issue on lesser systems in particular with Premiere, is like when you cancel something, it can take a hot minute to decide that it's ready to actually cancel. Man, that is Good Lord, is timeline performance ever smooth on a brand new machine these days? Sorry, this is my first time touching it.
Is that full res?
That's at full res, yeah.
Oh,
4K, please.
that's wild.
Wow, there's like no lag. That's pretty cool. All right. So was the idea that we would both game side by side on the system? Sure, why not? In that case, Dan, do you want to hit us with some merch messages since we're just kind of killing time hanging out with these people right now anyway?
Yeah, sure. I think that sounds like a good idea.
Sure.
Hello, Linus and Dan. With the huge gap between the 5080 and 5090, should I wait for the 5080 Ti with more VRAM? I'm coming from a 3080 10G, and the need for more VRAM is scaring me that 16 gigabytes is not enough.
I don't know if a 5080 class card with more VRAM is going to be in your future. That's the concern. And you can really see how NVIDIA has strategically chosen 16 gigs. It happens to be the amount of unified memory in both current generation consoles. Happens to be. So we're still at the point in the PS5 and Xbox. Would you like me to help you with that, Andy?
No,
We are still at the point in the Series' and the PS5's life cycle where game development is probably not focused on a next generation PlayStation 6 or Xbox, whatever the crap they end up calling it. So NVIDIA, knowing this, knows that no game developer in their right mind is going to be targeting more than 16 gigs of memory. So there is no need for them to put in more. Yes, if you wanted to, crank texture resolution, or if you wanted to run advanced features, there could be a benefit to additional VRAM, and we've seen that even today, but there's no need. And they're way more interested in pursuing things like AI compression techniques to bring down VRAM usage rather than putting more VRAM on the card, because an AI compression technique costs them development time once. More VRAM on the card costs them VRAM every single time they build a card. So it's in their best interest to see if they can just develop their way around it. So with that in mind, even if we do get a mid-life cycle refresh, unless it happens to coincide with like a new console generation, which probably, 2 years? 3 years maybe
I
even?
think at least 3 years. It feels like the current gen is like just getting its wings.
NVIDIA has no motivation to put more than 16 gigs of RAM on. The 32 gig 5090 is obviously a budget AI play and an enthusiast play, and is priced as such. The 5080 is the gaming flagship. And they have deemed it thusly that 16 gigs is enough. Now AMD might come and be disruptive. I think the word on the street is that what is the stupid thing called? What's it called? 9070? What's the new AMD card?
9070 XT.
9070 XT. There's some rumors that it could be equipped with up to 32 gigs of RAM.
There's going to be a card that's in that class with 32, not the base one.
Got it. Is that confirmed, or is that still very
we're still
rumored?
rumor
Got
down.
it. Frame view.
Oh yes.
But that doesn't help you if you want an NVIDIA card, basically. Why am I changing my? Why am I reloading in the middle of the thing? Oh, goodness! I saw.
Okay. I was like, is that 40 frames?
No. Man, we are
Pretty damn close.
We are actually surprisingly close. All things considered, we are at the same settings. I mean, we're at 1080p anyway, right?
Yeah. And we're far past the point of diminishing returns.
Yep. Dude, we were thinking of doing like a 1000 FPS gaming PC, getting like a 9800X 3D. Come on over here. Come on, get over here. Get better. And like trying to, oh boy.
Is it possible on modern competitive games to get 1000?
Well, that was the question we were going to try and answer. With like a tuned 9800X 3D plus an RTX 5090, could we actually run at 1000 FPS?
So right now, it might be that you're helped out because I don't have any AI because it's a training session. I have to do this before I can play, or there's very few AI. Oh, no, there's AI.
This just isn't actually running that fast. I don't still have Premiere open in the background or anything, do I? I don't. I don't know. I was expecting more than 500 FPS.
Yeah. Is there something going on?
Nope. I just checked.
Maybe I messed up the settings. Let's just double check.
Sure, yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so video, 1080p.
Could just be CPU bottlenecked, man.
Yeah, maybe. Just check if you're actually at 1080p. Maybe it's 4K somehow.
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
1080p.
Advanced video. It should be medium except everything. Like, let's just do it again. So hit medium and then
Sure.
turn off FSR at the bottom.
Wow, that's default, hey?
I know, it's crazy.
Even in a competitive game, the perception around upscaling techniques is really changing, and I'm not sure if I'm here for it. I'm gonna have to get on board because it's just happening.
I don't hate it. I sit far enough away from my displays that I don't really mind it. Like I'm playing The Witcher 3 right now, and I have FSR on.
Interesting. I mean, Plouf, meanwhile, is like militantly against it, except in our recent videos looking at 4K and 8K gaming on the 5090, there was 1 or 2 games that he was like, I would turn it on.
Really?
No frame gen for him, at least
Sure.
not yet.
Yeah.
But DLSS, yep, there was a couple games where he at least thought about it, and one where he confirmed, yeah, I would turn it on.
Yeah.
Which is, if you know that guy,
It's a big deal.
yeah, it's a big shift for him.
Well, now we're just playing games, and it's pretty on par. I think you might have a slight edge, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I should,
Like right now, I'm a little bit ahead, but like,
given I'm running it. Yeah, you are.
I mean, why don't we go to the same spot on the map? Maybe that has a bigger difference than I realized.
non-X3D? Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to come over here?
Yep.
Is a non-X3D chip really gonna take the AMD advantage away that much?
It's possible.
Oh my goodness, I suck. Thank
Where are you,
goodness
down
no
here?
one saw that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow, I just got killed by a bot. That was embarrassing.
Came all the way here just for nothing.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, losing to bots is not bad.
Ba-bow, ba-bow.
Well, I'm about to run out of time.
All right, don't worry, I got this. Ba-ba-ba, I got my pea shooter. Let's go.
So, I mean, yeah, it's without AI, we're pretty dang close.
Okay, where are we at?
I respawned.
Oh gosh darn it. Okay, I'm heading back toward you.
To me? Okay.
Yeah. Are you just playing deathmatch?
It's this training mode still. This account hasn't been through it.
Sheesh. That is so annoying.
It's really annoying.
I understand why they do it because it can be really frustrating for more experienced players to have people drop in the match and just like think they're going to learn on the fly.
Yeah,
and,
no.
like, you know, have the bomb and not know how to plant it and stuff.
Past where I am.
Yeah, I just needed to kill that guy in case. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm coming.
Oh. Oh, please don't make me wait the whole round.
This is embarrassing. Dan, do you want to hit us with a merge message?
Yeah, sure. As someone who is taking my first serious crack at switching from Windows to Linux, have you ever considered a follow-up on your Covert Era Linux challenge? And if not, why?
Yes. We are going to do a follow-up to the Linux challenge once SteamOS goes gold. I'm so ready for it.
Okay, I'm here.
I'm going to die. I died. Oh my goodness, I'm coming back. I'm coming up there. Dan, hit me again.
Sure. Last one I've got for you here. Will there be an HDD revisit for 2025 games? Maybe not just for 2024 hard drives, but early SATA or IDE. My upgrade cycle for storage is when it dies, so my first non-OS SSD was quite recent.
Oh, interesting. Man, I don't think so. Looking at how kind of dead hard drives are in the gaming space, I just don't think too many people, I mean, obviously you're asking for it, but I don't think too many people are at this point. Okay, are we in the same spot?
Yeah, go stand on that barrel on the left and then look right at this pot.
I'm gonna die.
No,
I got
you
him.
got him.
Okay, look at the pot. Okay, so dude, you're outperforming me.
I am outperforming you.
Like by a significant margin.
Yeah.
I guess non-X3D may not be the way to go for CS2. Let's try something a little more graphically demanding. Yes, I wish to exit the game now. What else did you have in mind for today?
We could do some Alan Wake 2, or we can do some Cyberpunk, or both.
Yeah, let's fire up Cyberpunk.
Okay.
That seems like a good place to go. Okay, Dan, hit me. That's all I got. That's all you got? Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Well, we'll do Cyberpunk and then we'll wrap it up. see. Actually, I don't even know how many people are watching. I haven't so much as looked at the YouTube dashboard today. And it is not, oh, that's the wrong stream. That's still the 24/7 stream. Oh, interesting.
Wait, that still exists?
No, it doesn't. But the event still does in our like event calendar
I
or
see.
whatever. The way that you handle YouTube streams is, it's good. It's a lot better than it was before, but it's sort of unintuitive because you can either do it like Twitch, where you just like, go live, or you can have scheduled events.
Your menu's outperforming mine.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, this wasn't spec'd out as a gaming system.
No.
But it's pretty darn good.
And I'm actually going to lose some of my advantage of having a much more powerful GPU because we're running at 1080p because of our HDMI switcher over here. Dan, is there a reason that this thing couldn't do 4K? I thought this thing does 4K.
It does do 4K. Like, we could try it.
Oh, okay. I don't feel
Yeah,
like
it seems like a little...
throwing a wrench in the gears. Tell you what,
Yeah,
let's do our comparison at 1080p,
but
then we'll try and run at 4K, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
I think we do, yeah, Ray Tracing Overdrive is still going to be challenging enough with no DLSS.
Oh, dude, Ray Tracing Overdrive will be super challenging. I was thinking Ray Tracing Ultra, no DLSS.
Overdrive, Ultra, no DLSS?
Yeah.
Okay. No frame gen. And then just everything as it was. Windowed border list, or?
Yes, I believe so. Oh, can we go full screen?
Sure.
I know it doesn't matter anymore, but whatever.
I get that.
Okay.
Did you put low latency
Oh, I didn't turn on reflex, I don't think.
on with boost enabled?
Sure.
Sure.
Let's go.
Do you want to run the benchmark or just play?
Oh, yeah, I want to play. Yeah, we'll just find a kind of similar-ish
Sure.
kind of area. We'll drive around or whatever. Coffee Loki says, PC not good enough. I don't think they're actually referring to these.
Spend more money. I'm going to ride my 3090 until I die.
Brandon, the IT guy in Floatplane chat, asks, is there a Linux distro for video editing? Not that I'm aware of, and it's less to do with the distro or lack thereof, and more to do with the tools or lack thereof. Blackmagic is doing a good job of supporting it, but to my knowledge, none of the other major players in the space have shown much of an appetite for support for Linux. Are you going to try and get to the exact same spot as me? Because I don't really think that's necessary.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I'm already outperforming
yeah.
you by a pretty significant margin. You're at like 70 FPS, and I'm at like 90. Oh, I dropped down a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're also dropped into the 60s
Yeah.
now.
I feel like where you are is harder to run than where I am, but I don't know the map well enough to be able to get around.
The 3090 to the 4090 was a big jump in performance. So if we were looking at this 5080 versus a 4090, then it wouldn't be that impressive. But looking at it compared to the 3090, you can go from the workstation / enthusiast card of that generation to the gamer card of this generation and expect a performance uplift. Honestly, not enough though. If I had a 3090, I would just run this at 75 FPS rather than going for the extra 15 FPS
I don't
for
think
the
it's a
upgrade.
big enough boost that you'll really have a noticeable experience.
With that said, if I could get a 5080 for MSRP, knowing that I can sell my 3090 for a lot,
Yeah.
I could probably almost do it as a cross trade. So if my priority was just gaming,
It's true. You don't need that extra VRAM. Well, it would be nice to have that extra VRAM, but
I'd rather have the raw performance than the VRAM at that
likewise
point.
for gaming.
For just gaming.
Yeah, I agree.
And let some, AI tinkerer have that 3090 and use that VRAM for what they're doing.
Yep.
So that's a totally valid option. I mean, both David and I are very PC of Theseus people. So we're always kind of thinking like, oh, what can I sell from my rig and then acquire and kind of optimize as we go. But a lot of people are not like that. So I totally understand too, if you have a 3090 and you're just looking at your machine going, is this still good enough? The answer is, yep. If you don't feel like making any changes. But I've found that kind of staying on top of things a little bit has been the best value way to get the most out of my system.
Yeah, there's kind of a weird transition period where the old stuff is still really high value, Like
Especially
if you have
now.
Yeah, exactly. GPU transitions are so weird.
Not at all like they used to be. Okay, I'm ready to try 4K. What do you think, Dan? Is this going to work?
Yeah, it should.
Oh, I can't even select it.
Oh,
Well, you gotta have your desktop set to 4K. Or do you?
I don't know. I didn't think so.
usually you
Yeah,
can.
I can't change it.
Oh, maybe the.
Yep. Is there a mode selection on this thing that's like?
I don't even know if it is capable of doing
It is.
It is. That's
It'll do
definitely- it can do 8K.
Oh, dude, this will do 4K,
Can't it?
120 hertz.
Yeah, it's like a. Well, this is like a high-end matrix.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah. Here, I'll fiddle with it.
Shout out.
No, I don't think we need to fiddle with it. It's okay.
AP Pro Edge.
I
Thank you
think
for
what
the
we're going to
matrix.
do is say, hey, thank you guys very much for tuning into the stream today. There's definitely some things we like about this configuration, but as you heard from Mark, our editing team is very divided on the subject of PC versus Mac. And if we stick with PC, there's a chance that we're going to end up going 50-90. Maybe we'll do an update on Floatplane. We'll get you guys a look at the final system. Otherwise, maybe we'll do a stream and we'll build a bunch of the final systems and we'll hand deliver them to our editors in the editing den on the other side of the wall. See you later, guys.